The NASCAR world experienced an earthquake this week, and the aftershocks are still reverberating through every garage, every pit crew, and every fan's heart. When tragedy strikes unexpectedly, sometimes the response tells you everything about a person's impact on their sport and the people around them. Just days ago, the racing community lost a legend. Someone who defined what it means to be a racer, someone who pushed boundaries, broke records, and left an indelible mark on the sport that may never be replicated. But this isn't just a story about loss and grief. It's about what one legendary racing organization decided to do in the aftermath. It's about a car number that will never race again under most circumstances. And it's about an 11-year-old boy named Brexton Busch with his father's eyes and his father's competitive fire. Richard Childress Racing *** made an announcement 3 days ago that stopped everyone in the NASCAR community in their tracks. The number 8, the car that belonged to one of racing's all-time greats during the final chapter of his legendary career, will not race this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It won't race next month. It won't race next year. The number is being retired from active competition. But here's the part that matters most to everyone watching this unfold. It's being held in reserve, protected, and waiting for one specific person and one person only. An 11-year-old whose father just changed the sport forever and left an unfillable void in the NASCAR garage that no driver can ever truly fill. Let's examine the exact words that RCR used in their official statement, because words matter enormously in moments like these. This isn't just an organization parking a car number for a single season. This isn't administrative inconvenience or temporary measures. This is a profound statement about legacy, about respect, and about the weight of what happened. According to the official statement, Kyle Busch was instrumental in the design of RCR's stylized number 8, and it has become synonymous with Kyle and an important symbol for his fans and the NASCAR industry. No one can carry it forward to the level that he did. The number 8 is reserved and ready for Brexton Busch when he is ready to go NASCAR racing. Take that statement and read it again slowly. No one can carry it forward to the level that he did. That's Richard Childress Racing saying publicly and permanently that this number belongs to Kyle Busch alone. And if the universe unfolds the way everyone in NASCAR is quietly hoping it does, one day it will belong to his son. That's not just retirement in the traditional sense. That's consecration. That's placing something sacred on a shelf and saying to the entire world, this belongs to one person's legacy, and we're going to protect it for the next generation. Starting this Sunday at the Coca-Cola 600, the car that should have carried Kyle Busch will wear the number 33 instead. Austin Hill, an incredibly talented driver for RCR, will pilot that entry in one of the most emotionally loaded substitution situations in sports history. This is 600 miles. This is the longest race of the year. This is Memorial Day weekend. This is Charlotte Motor Speedway under the lights. And with an empty seat where one of NASCAR's all-time greats was supposed to be sitting, the weight will be impossible to ignore. Austin Hill is a capable professional who will handle this moment with tremendous dignity and respect. But here's the undeniable truth that every person in that garage knows: nobody is going to be thinking about the number 33 on Sunday night. They're going to be thinking about the number that isn't there. They're going to be thinking about what it means that it isn't there, what it represents, and who should be sitting in that seat. The number 8 carries history that goes far beyond the recent past. This number has one of the richest and most storied legacies in all of NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. made it iconic during some of the most passionate years of his career, winning the Daytona 500 carrying that number and becoming the sport's most beloved and popular driver while wearing it. Martin Truex Jr. raced it. Jeff Burton raced it. For decades, the number 8 has been associated with some of the biggest names and biggest moments in racing history. When Kyle Busch arrived at Richard Childress Racing in 2023, he didn't just take an existing number. According to RCR's own statement, he was instrumental in redesigning it completely. He put his fingerprints on it. He made it his own. He added another chapter to a legacy that was already legendary. The 3 wins he recorded with that number in 2023. His final 3 Cup Series victories were the last times anyone would ever see that car celebrate in victory lane with him behind the wheel. Those aren't just recent victories anymore. They're historical moments. They're the final chapter of an extraordinary story. The parallel to Dale Earnhardt and the number 3 is impossible to ignore, and Richard Childress knows it better than anyone. When Earnhardt died at Daytona in February 2001, Childress made the decision to retire the number 3 out of respect for everything it represented. Kevin Harvick took over the seat and drove the number 29 instead. The number 3 sat untouched, one of the most recognizable numbers in all of American motorsports. Simply absent from the grid. It stayed off the track for over a decade. 12 years. And when it finally returned in 2013, it was for Richard Childress's own grandson, Austin Dillon. That decision was deeply personal for the family and deeply meaningful for the sport. Brexton Busch is 11 years old, and he's already a champion. His parents, Kyle and Samantha, put him in a racing cart at an age when most kids are still figuring out how to ride a bicycle. And the results have been immediate and undeniable. Brexton won the Tulsa Shootout Junior Sprint Championship last year, one of the most prestigious youth racing events in the entire country. He races with a ferocity and a natural talent that everyone who has watched him compete describes as inevitable. The people in and around the sport who have seen Brexton compete up close, the crew chiefs, the team owners, the other racers' parents, they all say the same thing consistently. He has the same instincts his father had. The same competitive fire. The same ability to find speed that nobody else can find. He's 11 years old, and the NASCAR garage is already quietly talking about him the way they used to talk about a teenage Kyle Busch before he became a legend. The number 8 is now sitting in a garage somewhere at Richard Childress Racing, waiting. Waiting for a boy who just lost his father to grow up. Waiting for him to decide whether he wants to carry the weight of that legacy onto the biggest stage in American motorsports. Brexton lost his father this week. He's 11 years old. He's grieving in a way that no child should ever have to grieve. And at the same time, the sport that will never have his father again is holding a place for him, protecting a number for him, telling the entire world, when you're ready, if you're ever ready, the door is open and the number is waiting. The garage at Charlotte Motor Speedway this weekend is unlike anything anyone there has ever experienced. Kyle Larson, who raced against Busch for years and competed alongside him at the All-Star race just 6 days ago, was visibly shaken when he arrived at the track. Multiple drivers have spoken about not knowing how to process what happened. There are no easy answers to those questions. But drivers will race on Sunday because that's what Kyle Busch would have wanted. He would have wanted every single one of them to strap in, go as hard as they possibly could, and leave nothing on the table. That was who he was. That was the standard he held himself to every single week for 22 seasons. The Coca-Cola 600 this Sunday night is going to be one of the most emotionally charged races in the history of Charlotte Motor Speedway. 600 miles under the lights, Memorial Day weekend, the sport's longest race of the year. And somewhere on that grid, there will be a car with the number 33 on the side where the number 8 should have been. All 39 cars in the field will carry a small black number 8 decal to honor him. The greatest legacies don't end, they transform and pass from one generation to the next. Dale Earnhardt's number 3 sat in storage for 12 years before it came back, carrying all of those years of weight and history and memory onto every track it visited. The number 8 is going into storage now. The day Brexton Busch climbs into a number 8 Chevrolet and fires that engine for the first time will be one of the most powerful moments this sport has ever witnessed. If this story moved you, please hit that like button to show your support. And if you love NASCAR, if you care about the sport and its stories and its legends, please subscribe to this channel for the deepest dives into racing's biggest moments and most emotional stories that define this incredible sport.